Ever since Minecraft's Nether update, the Minecraft speedrunning community has seen a huge boom in popularity. Popular speedrunners such as NiceTwice and Dimeax are averaging hundreds of viewers in their Twitch streams almost daily, which would have been unheard of only a year ago. Along with this popularity, there's been a wave of new and returning players who want to try their hand at Minecraft speedrunning and have a shot at glory. I was one of those returning players. I've been doing a ton of random seed and set seed speedrunning these past few months and have learned a lot. I think that I can give a lot of tips which would help both beginner and intermediate speedrunners alike. So without further ado, here are the top 10 tips that I have for 1.16 random seed speedruns. Number 10. If you find a desert temple early game, use the TNT that's under it as a quick way to loot it. Place down one of the TNT in the corner and a pressure plate on top of it. Then step on the pressure plate to ignite the TNT before blocking yourself in the opposite corner to protect from the blast. After the explosion, you will be left with all of the chest's loot, as well as stone for tools and stacks of blocks to help you with your run. You can even blow up a second TNT for more stone and blocks if you wish to. Number 9. When looting Bastions in a speedrun, opening one of the piglins' chests while exposed is a great way to die. In order to avoid the piglins attacking you and to get the very valuable loot from these chests, build this sort of cage of blocks around you. If done correctly, as shown, the piglins fail to notice you opening their chests and you are free to take all of their gold and other valuables. Number 8. Try assigning easier keybinds to hotbar slots that would be uncomfortable to reach. For me, I have hotbar positions 6 to 9 set to R, G, C, and mouse button 4 respectively. I did this because the only hotbar numbers close enough to my left hand on WASD are 1 through 5. The other numbers used to require a lot of finger stretching or bringing my right hand off of the mouse. Making this change was initially very hard to get used to, but in the end has greatly improved my crafting speed. Number 7. Another way to access the Nether that most people don't know about, ironically takes place where the game has the most water, oceans. If you come across an underwater ravine, swim down into it and break down until you find lava. You can use this lava to create your Nether Portal. Dig out a 5x4 hole in the wall next to you, not including corners, which will become the frame for your portal. Use the lava from the ravine to fill in the frame and voila, you have your portal. Number 6. Because 1.16 speedruns include a lot of mining for gold in addition to the normal amount of digging the game requires, spending a little extra time to get an iron pick is usually a very good investment. The most common scenario where you should go out of your way for an iron pick is when you find 3 or more emeralds while looting a village. If you craft a barrel and turn a villager into a fisherman, you can trade them for a bucket of cod. Just dump the poor cod out and you have your bucket. Now you can use the iron you got from killing the iron golem to craft an iron pick and save a lot of time overall. Most speedrunners already know this trick, but it's still helpful for beginners and it's also just super effective. In addition, if you have an iron pick and are struggling to find a lava pool, you can always try digging down for lava. It takes a bit of time to get in and out, but you're pretty likely to run into lava on the way down. Number 5. Subscribe to the weekly thing on YouTube to instantly increase your Ender Pearl trade luck. No, but seriously, a large percentage of our viewers aren't actually subscribed to our channel. If you enjoy our content and want to see more, we'd really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe later if you change your mind. Back to the video. Number 5, for real this time. Before you throw an Eye of Ender to start locating the stronghold, press F3 to open up your debug menu. As you throw the eye, look directly at it and pay attention to this number right here. This number represents the exact angle that you were looking. So if you were looking directly at the eye, that means it is also the exact angle the eye is pointing. So following this angle's direction is really helpful to staying en route to the stronghold. Number 4. If you are new to speedrunning, don't throw yourself into random seed runs and expect yourself to do well. Instead, practice individual parts of speedrunning such as end fights and blaze fights. A good way to practice and hone your skills is to play on world record RSG seeds and just try to beat the game with previous knowledge of your seed. We'll put a few seeds in the description which we think are good to practice on. Number 3. This tip is not a proven one, so I recommend you take everything that I'm about to say with a grain of salt. This confusing map right here is a map of likely nether structure locations. I first saw this map on NiceTwice's Twitch stream, where someone he knows on Discord had done research on nether structure generation and sent him a map very similar to this. The origin of the graph is the coordinate 0, 0 in the nether, and each smaller square represents a 64 by 64 block area. As you might guess, the green represents places where structures will spawn, and the red represents places where the structures will not spawn. Again, this is just speculation and not proven, but ever since I found out about it and I've been using it to try to find nether fortresses in my own runs, it seems like my odds have improved. Because of the way Minecraft's confusing coordinates work with the Y value going up as you head south, the north and south of this graph are actually to the left and right directions. In order to implement this knowledge into your fortress finding attempts, you need to check your coordinates as soon as you get to the nether. You should be doing this anyways to memorize or write down your portal coords so you can get back to them easily. So following this chart, if you are within 64 blocks in each direction of the origin, I recommend you search southeast for a fortress as long as it's a good biome to search in. In other words, search in the direction that positively increases both your X and Y values. If you spawn further than 64 blocks from 0, 0, then your best bet is to keep going in the direction from 0, 0 that you spawned in. Keep in mind that only one structure should be able to spawn in each of these quadrants, and there's only around a 50% chance of one happening. So if you find a bastion, you're probably going to need to look in another direction if you want a close fortress. Number 2. Another thing beginner speedrunners tend to struggle with is blaze fights, especially when you're unlucky enough to be tackling an open spawner. For this tip, I'm just going to try to explain my process for fighting blazes, which hopefully can help you out as well. Your first priority should be to not fall behind. Failing to kill all the blazes in one wave and allowing more to spawn is the easiest way to get overwhelmed and lose your run. Prioritize always fully killing each round of blazes, even if it means taking some damage. When the blazes first spawn, you have time to kill one blaze with axe crits before any other blazes can attack. To be prepared for the blaze's upcoming attack, put a block on top of the spawner and then use it for cover. Bait out blazes' fireballs by jiggling around the corner. Once a blaze shoots 3 times, it has a recharge period. This is the period you kill it. If you use this strategy, it should be way easier than you think to take care of all the blazes. While waiting for the next round to spawn, it's also a good idea to dig out the floor around the spawner to allow for a higher number of blazes to spawn per round, because then you can get all the blaze rods you need even faster. Number 1. In my opinion, end fights are probably the most challenging thing for a new Minecraft speedrunner. When I first started speedrunning, I did not realize how much more there was to know about end fights and one cycling. One of the things I've learned since then is that the further away you stand from the middle of the end island, the higher chance there is of the dragon perching. However, many people don't recognize the patterns of the dragon when it is about to perch, which causes them to not reach it in time when it finally does. Well, the dragon will actually always perch from the exact opposite direction of you. So when the dragon is on your half of the end island, stand as far away from the perch as possible. When it flies to the other side of the island, and specifically exactly opposite from you in comparison to the perch, that is when you should start running closer to the perch to guarantee you reach it in time. This also means that in order to make your one cycle as easy as possible, do not stand diagonal from the perch. Stand straight on from it to guarantee a straight perch, which is far easier and more consistent to one cycle than a diagonal dragon perch. Whether you're a beginner to the game or an experienced speedrunner, I hope that by watching this video you learned something new. If you did learn something or if you enjoyed this video, consider liking it and sharing it with your friends. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video.